talk about the reptile with the longest tongue. What is it? Is it the snake? Nuh-uh. How about Komodo dragons? Nope. But it is a lizard just like the Komodo dragon. Meet the chameleon. Chameleons don't just have long tongues, but they can change color. They have eyes that can rotate in any direction and a prehensile tail. That's really cool, huh? Most of them live in Madagascar, like the smallest of all lizards, the brookisia chameleon. The brookisia chameleon is even smaller than a Madagascar penny. That's small, right? Brookisia chameleons live in the leaf litter of Madagascar, and they'll eat termites, crickets, pretty much bugs, anything they can find in the leaf litter. And what about the three-horned, small miniature version of the Triceratops, the Jackson's chameleon? The Jackson's chameleon has those 3 horns to fight other males for territory or so it can mate. Jackson's chameleons are really cool. They're actually the closest relatives to Triceratops, and you thought it was the black rhinoceros. And what about the Parsons chameleon? Well, like all chameleons, they're really good at hiding. And once they spot a prey, like a Madagascar hoverfly, they stay still, changing color with their background, waiting and waiting until flap. Its tongue shoots out like an arrow and hits the target. And then it has a delicious meal. Yum, flies. Anyway, when you think of an animal with a prehensile tail, you might think, the first thing you might think of are monkeys. Monkeys like tamarins, marmosets, spider monkeys, and golden stub-nosed monkeys all have something in common: prehensile tails. But who's ever said that lizards don't? I mean, iguanas don't, Gila monsters don't, Komodo dragons don't, but chameleons do. Some of the only groups of lizards with prehensile tails. And they don't just live in Madagascar, they also live in Europe. Like the European chameleon. They live in Europe, some parts of Africa, and Asia. European chameleons are usually found green or brown, but like a chameleon, it can change any color of its background. Not just to hide in the background. The background reason is to hide really away from prey or predators. But if they're sick or depending on the mood, they can change a color too. And there are many different types: brookisia chameleons, Jackson's chameleons, Warning chameleons, Parsons chameleons, vined chameleons. That's 5 types of chameleons, and there's even more. And chameleons have, unlike most lizards, have 2 sticky toe pads for walking. Kind of like how a gecko has sticky feet to walk, it does too. But it doesn't necessarily have the same thing as a gecko has. And it has 2 toes. So no thumb, just these 2 fingers. Pinky and pointer. I guess that's what you could call it. Anyway, chameleons are very cool creatures. They blend in with their surroundings. They could even be in more than one color in what's in their background. For example, if something was green and black, they could turn green where there's green and black where there's black. But they, unlike many people think, they can't go polka dot or zigzaggy just to hide with their background is all. And so that we already talked about their long tongue, prehensile tail, and color changing abilities. What about their eye rotation? Well, they can look at two things at once. Imagine if you were a brookisia chameleon down at the leaf litter and you could look at a silky safaka dancing along the ground and a ring-tailed mongoose running around chasing a tenrak. That's pretty cool, huh? Anyways, like I was saying, they have rotating eyes. That's usually used for seeing if there's predators or prey, and they can see them anywhere. They're kind of like owls, so they're a mix between an owl, octopus, and maybe even monkey. They're pretty cool creatures. And chameleon lizards are excellent tree climbers. Like Jackson's chameleon, Parsons chameleon, Warren chameleons all live on the treetops. But what about the brookisia chameleon? Like I said, it lives on the leaf litter. That's why these group of chameleons are sometimes called leaf litter chameleons. Pretty cool, huh? And you could tell a chameleon from other lizards by many ways. For one reason, they have a curling tail, but most lizards have a long straight tail. And what about their tongue? Their tongue is kind of like a frog's tongue that can measure more than 3 feet. Pretty long, huh? And they're the only reptiles with rotating eyes. And they can change color. Now you see me, now you don't. Anyway, their main predators are, since they live mostly in Madagascar, are kind of simple. There's the fossa that sometimes lurks and climbs up to get them. There's ring-tailed mongoose, the second main predator of Madagascar, who eats many animals, including tenreks. Tenreks are some of the only small mammals in Madagascar. But back to its chameleon predators. Fossas and ring-tailed mongoose will eat chameleons. That's why they have their defenses. Color blending. Some predators can be right next to a chameleon and can't see them. And many animals like rabbits, horses, and other creatures have running powers to run away from prey. But chameleons are very slow. In fact, this is what they do. When they're ready to move, they go like this. So they're part sloth too. Amazing, right? Well, not really amazing, but you could say lazy. Anyway, Chameleons are very cool creatures that we should get to know about. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell.